What's up, everybody? I am James Hake of the Hake Report. It is Wednesday, March 30th, 2022 AD. Did you guys catch the Jesse Lee Peterson show? Guest hosted by Hassan. Wasn't that fun? And then Ted Nugent and his son Rocco for Manhood Hour. Check that out if you missed it. JesseLeePeterson.com/show. But it is 9:01 a.m. here in Los Angeles, U.S. Pacific Daylight Time. And I have a fun Wednesday show, I think, for you. I was able yesterday to avoid saying gay, but we got issues and lots of evil being pushed by the Hollywood types, including Disney. It's disgusting. And so I'm going to cover that quite a bit because yesterday, apparently, or 2 days ago, actually, I think it was Monday, and I will get to your calls. Ron DeSantis signed the so-called Don't Say Gay bill. It's also known as the Parental Rights and Education Act. Oh my gosh, lots of, maybe too many crazy stories. And also an anti-lynching bill was passed. We did not need this. It's gonna be nothing but evil. And it was pushed by nobody but evil. And Sleepy Joe passed it. It's ridiculous. Anyway, I will get to your calls, guys. But anyway, let's get right on with the show!
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la.
Eagles!
Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la.
So, how are you guys doing? I am fine. You know, I was looking at the intro stuff, at the intro pictures. Chris went through a little nice slideshow here. Chris, the kickflip galaxy brain, Chris, the board operator. By the way, he had some great comments with Hassan, guest hosting the Jesse Lee Peterson show just prior to this show coming on. I'm on JLP's network. Shout out. He'll be back. He will be back. But man, you're going to have to cover your eyes sometimes. And I probably should have warned you, but I saw a picture of this transportation secretary with his whatever you want to call it, which is not necessarily what it really is. You know? Terrible. And it's kind of disgusting to see, honestly. It just is. But whatever, we don't judge them. But it's pushing evil. That's for sure what it is. I'm talking about Pete Buttigieg and that Chasten fellow. Then they are not very chaste, it doesn't look like. What a shame. But anyway, should we have a loosey-goosey Wednesday show? Man, what a mess. It is Wednesday. Great Manhood Hour on the Jesse Lee Peterson show. Today, this evening, or late afternoon, we will have a Bond Archive Sunday service premiere on the Bond Rebuilding the Man YouTube channel. And it is going to be a good one. It's, as I recall, it's talking about, I think I have it. I may have the thumbnail for it. I didn't put it in the folder. I did put it in the main folder. Tested by God. Oh yeah, is there a difference between being tempted and being tested? It was the question from a 2013 Bond episode. I really like the church services in general, both present day and way back when. Anyway, before I get to this don't say gay thing, so it's silly. Let me get to a call, guys. Oh, there it is. Check it out. JLP is going to be a Throwback Sunday service going to be happening. Man, that thing's bright. Okay, cool. Chris in Pennsylvania is on the line, wants to talk about Ukraine and its connection with Sleepy Joe Biden. Chris in PA, how are you doing?
Hey, Hake, how you doing? I'm good.
Fine. You're good? Whoa.
Oh man, messed up.
Gotcha.
Hey, so I don't know if you or your viewers have heard. I guess yesterday, Matt Gaetz, who's like a representative out of Florida.
Yeah.
He tried to enter like the laptop, Hunter Biden's laptop record, or the hard drive into like the House record, and because it claimed to have all these ties to Ukraine or whatever corrupt information is on the hard drive. And apparently it was rejected by the chairman. I don't know if you saw the video.
No.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting.
I had not heard about this. And it turned out that it's been reported that turned out to be real news. Confirmed by mainstream media, like New York Times, I think I heard.
Right.
You know, the stuff that's gotten out about Hunter Biden's laptop.
Yeah, but I figure it's probably not getting all the coverage it should by the mainstream.
Right.
But
I haven't. I honestly haven't even looked into it, but I wouldn't be surprised if these people get in the government and they enjoy the benefits, and some of the benefits are like inappropriate and unethical, if you will, and yet they just get comfortable because this guy's been in some form of office for like 40 years or more, like Sleepy Joe, right? And so these people, and he's not the most moral person. Let's be honest, he's a Democrat.
They're deep in it at this point, but
yeah,
I don't know, the interesting piece about it was just that they have to get unanimous consent in order to like enter something like a hard drive into the discussion or whatever, and they didn't get unanimous consent, even though everyone was kind of yelling out like, "Hey, of course we'll enter this in." Of course, like the Democratic, the leader of the Congress or whatever.
Nervous Nancy Pelosi, the so-called Speaker of the House? You're talking about Pelosi?
No, it wasn't Pelosi.
Oh, really?
I think it was Nadler.
Oh, gosh.
He's like the chairman.
Fat Jerry Nadler?
That's him.
So what is it, like a specific committee or something?
Yeah.
Maybe he's like one of the committee heads or something. Anyway, doesn't matter. But he's the one who blocked it, huh?
Yeah, and he had like some guy whisper in his ear.
Fat Jerry has been Trump used to call him Fat Jerry back when Trump was in New York. Because isn't Jerry Nadler from, let's see.
Yeah. He is from New York.
Yeah, so they've had a long history. 5'3", by the way. 74 years old, 5'3".
Gotta love Trump's nicknames.
Yeah.
Miss that.
Crazy. So, yeah, I had not heard that. What a mess.
Yeah, so, if anyone's interested, you go look at the video. It's just something that's probably not going to get the coverage it deserves. But interestingly, that representative, Matt Gaetz, that submitted it, he has some weirdness surrounding him as well. There were like some allegations about some underage stuff. So it's all sorts of corruption and scandal up there. But
I mean, you can't. That's why you can't really go with anything without knowing what the truth is or proof. I wouldn't go with it just because there's allegations against him.
Yeah, for sure.
Nor do I go with anything just because there's allegations against Biden and Hunter. I can see Biden is evil by looking at what he supports. So I don't.
Yep.
So this thing is just like icing on the cake on his corruption, in my opinion. The Ukraine thing. I find it very interesting that there's suspicious things about Biden regarding Ukraine, but they impeached Trump for wanting to look into it. Huh. What a mess.
Imagine that.
So backwards. They go after the law enforcement. They go after the men. They go after the innocent. They kill the babies. But they'll, if you're corrupt and you're on the side of advancing evil, you get away with it, at least for a time.
Right.
And so he's having his time. Interesting. I appreciate the tip, Chris.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, you did a great job yesterday, all 5 hours.
Nice. Thanks, man.
Yeah, for sure. And it was pretty cool seeing Ted Nugent on today.
Yeah, that was cool.
It's been a good week. So Jesse's proud, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think so. Well, take care, man.
All right. Appreciate it. Take care.
All right. Yeah. haven't heard from Ted Nugent in a few years now. He's been on the JLP show once or twice or 3 times. So that's cool. But it had been some time. Before I get back to calls, guys, there are some on the line, but there is one line open, 888-775-3773. I am wearing my Tom Like a Mug with Jesse Lee Peterson t-shirt. Just have to let you know that I'm wearing that because you may not be familiar. It's been it comes in multiple different colors. White ink or black ink on a light t-shirt or a dark t-shirt. You can get that by going to rebuildingtheman.com/stores. The Hake Report t-shirts, you go to thehakereport.com and it's teespring.com/stores/the Hake Report. But this is not a Hake t-shirt, it's a JLP one. Anyway, let me get to this mess. So, this don't say gay controversy. It's not even a controversy. They call it controversial. Anytime the left doesn't like something or the evil people don't like something, they call it controversial. And usually this controversial thing is not based. It's not very based. Like this don't say gay bill. It's pretty mild. It's, in fact, in my opinion, it's too mild. It says, shall not have instruction from kindergarten through 3rd grade or whatever, discussion from kindergarten through 3rd grade about the LGBTIQ agenda, in short, right? And that's roughly what it's about, right? But that's not enough. It shouldn't be in anywhere in the public schools. Kindergarten through 12th grade, right? Right. But no, that's not based enough because they've already let stuff go out of control. So now they have to try to get it back, but it's already gone. They're trying to get it back, and I appreciate that. That's good. And so the demons are coming out. Here is a backstory. I saw this. I was just searching online. And this is a headline. How a lawsuit over a teen spurred the Florida Republicans to pass the so-called Don't Say Gay law. And it has become law. Thank you to, what's your name? Ron DeSantis, the governor, for signing it. He's finally signed it. I don't know what the holdup was, but it's okay. I don't know how these things go. Maybe it wasn't even a holdup. It's an amazing story, though. March 29th was this report in Politico by Andrew Atterbury and Gary Fineout. Politico is a far-left enemy of America outlet, basically. But there was this September conversation 2 years ago, September, almost. I think it was September 2020, between a Tallahassee mother who has a strange name and her 13-year-old teenage son or daughter. They don't say whether it's a son or daughter, they being Politico. The teen, according to a federal lawsuit, said they, meaning he or she, might be non-binary and wanted to change his or her name ahead of the upcoming school year to one that fit a gender different from the one he or she was assigned at birth, meaning his real gender. So stupid, this wording. The mother's name is January Littlejohn. I spit a little bit. January is the first name of this mother. Littlejohn is all one word, the last name, I guess. And her husband also, who I don't know if that's the father. It doesn't sound like it, the way that they say that, said no. But if it's a mother who's remarried, it would kind of make sense that, and especially in these times, it would make sense a child gets confused. They said no, but they allowed the then 13-year-old to use a nickname at middle school, while the parents continued to use this 13-year-old progeny's birth name at home. Littlejohn, this January Littlejohn, also emailed the teenager daughter or son's math teacher to stress her opposition to the child changing his or her name. Wow. So then why did you give for it? But anyway, that's the weakness of mothers, right? But on that September day in 2020, after Ms. January Littlejohn picked her teen up from school, she was struck by an offhand comment that the 13-year-old made. The teen said it was funny when school was asked what gender restroom this teenager preferred to use in response to his or her new nickname. Shouldn't have let that happen, Mama. Anyway, this conversation proved to be a tipping point for January Littlejohn and her husband, who sued Leon County schools in Florida, I guess, 2021, claiming the school officials helped their child transition to a different gender without informing them. Wow. The lawsuit was filed by the Child and Parental Rights Campaign, which is a public interest law firm founded in 2019. In its words, to respond to a radical new ideology overtaking families. I didn't see it coming, says January Littlejohn in an interview. Which is why I try to warn parents. Crazy, huh? I mean, nowadays, you send your children to public school, you're more than taking a risk, you're sacrificing your child. But she's, I don't know, is she divorced and remarried, or was she has this kid out of wedlock and then marry somebody else? I don't know. Politico explains that they were using the they, them pronouns to refer to this teen so as not to reveal identifying information about him or her. The teen could not be reached for comment. And so they passed this bill, this Don't Say Gay bill, and it's very interesting. There's this black male Democrat who's multi-term state representative out of Florida, and a preacher's kid. He was raised by a preacher. His father was a preacher. He got married to a woman named Robin at age 26 and divorced at 31. He's 38 years old now, and he's out of the closet, meaning radical homosexual. His name is Chevron Jones. I may have like a headline from a couple of years ago about this guy under that Don't Say Gay mess. Let's see. I might not have it. Not sure. Oh, you do? Oh, okay. Right on. Oh, yeah. Chev Jones. Chev, short for Chevron Jones, said, "This is another stain on Florida's history. A law that says you can't push the gay agenda on kindergartners through third grade. A stain on Florida's history. Classrooms should be places of inclusion where every Florida child can learn safely and ask questions, but not in Ron DeSantis's Florida." And so you look, I'm like, who's this Chevron Jones? Who's this Chev Jones guy? Sounds black. Sure enough, he's black. And I keep on spitting. But you guys don't notice probably. Florida, I shouldn't even tell it. The Miami Herald reported back in 2018, Florida Representative Chevron Jones opens up as a gay man. I'm living my truth. Gay. And apparently, like, he's speaking at an anti-gun legislation thing there back then. Anyway. And I look at this article, Miami Herald, right? It was a Sunday morning last year in late August. This would have been 2017. Chevron Jones was in church feeling just a little hungover as a man in his mid-30s and a multi-time state rep, right? He'd been out drinking the previous night with his brother, Kanail, and now they were sitting next to each other at a pew in Koinonia Worship Center in Hollywood, Florida. As their father gave the sermon, and he's hungover with his brother, Chevron leaned on his older brother, sibling, and whispered, "Thank you." And then they said, "For accepting him." How not morally straight can you be? He's he's already a 3-term state representative at this point, back in 2017 or 2018. And a preacher's kid who got married at 26 and divorced at 31 is gay. Which is not what they are, but they are confused, right? He's known it since he was in kindergarten. Wow. But he only told his family about 5 years ago, around the time he first got elected. What a mess, huh? And he talks about his brother who accepted him. "Thank you." He was like, "Man, please." So I leaned on him a little more. Terrible, huh? Cringe. Oh, man. His brother died actually in September of 2018, I guess. And that was my last, or maybe 2017. That was my last moment with him. He never judged me. So they call this Chev Jones a private man living a very public life. That's not very private if you're pushing this gay agenda now. Oh, and his brother's death prompted him to do this. And by the way, he was still married to a woman when he was first sworn into office, and yet he came out of the closet. What a mess, huh? Shameful. So his wife, Robin, divorced him. My brother died at the age of 34. I was like, that could have been me. I could drop dead living behind the scenes of something that could have helped someone else. So he thinks that he's helping someone else by being shameless like this. Misguided, huh? This is like blind leading the blind, misleading the blind after generations. And they're doing it to children now. And this guy's advocating pushing this on children. I started living my truth just a little bit more. Makes me want to spit or like gag or barf. I don't like that word, barf. But anyway, here's the headline. Florida governor signs the controversial, there's that word again, controversial, Don't Say Gay bill into law. ABC News. The bill bans lessons on sexual disorientation and gender false identity in some grades. It's a March 28th ABC News article by Chiara Alfonseca. And the people who write these articles are just some of the most misguided people. I don't want to keep on calling them disgusting, but they are. This woman is a piece of work with the mess that she covers. So Ron DeSantis, the real Ron, because I'm going to talk about a different Ron who's not real. Ron DeSantis, actually, I don't know how real Ron DeSantis is, but I like him okay. You know, a lot of you guys have your qualms about him or things that you totally disagree with him on. But as far as these go, like, there's nobody else. As far as these governors and politicians go, is there anybody else? Anyway, he talked about the Parental Rights and Education Act. You have to tell the parents if there's some type of medical thing, the parents have the right to refuse certain medical services for their children, not certain anything. Vaccines and all this other stuff. Horrible. So I have to show this to you, and then I'll get to calls. I may cover more stuff because there's so much stuff that just, it never ends. But I'll probably talk about Disney after I get to a couple of calls. Horrific. Anyway, Ron DeSantis passed this thing. Nice. We've been talking about it for weeks, right? Hake, stop spitting on the equipment. Well, listen to this and watch. It's 42 seconds long, so it's short. This old actor, he's not that old, but he's old enough that he should know better. Is this guy a Christian? Ron Perlman. I only think I know him because maybe he played Hellboy. I think he played Hellboy. And I watched that. Not that it was my idea to watch it. A buddy of mine was like, hey, let's watch this movie. I really like this movie. I mean, I really like this comic book character, Hellboy, way back in like 04, I want to say, 2004. But anyway, Ron Perlman was trending on Twitter Tuesday, apparently because of this clip from Pearl Mutations is his Twitter handle. And he tweeted this video, Dear Governor Ron DeSantis. He tweeted that line with this video. Watch this. Don't worry, kids. I bleeped it out. So bear with me through this cringy Hollywood reaction. Grown adult male addressing Ron DeSantis, the governor, very politely. Enjoy.
Good morning, Governor DeSantis. Ron here. Don't say gay. Don't say as the first two words in a sentence spoken by a political leader of a state in the United States of America. Don't say. Don't f***ing say, you f***ing Nazi pig. Say. First Amendment. Read about it. Then run for office. You piece of shit.
How rude, huh? What a mess. Oh, he's not a Christian? the noticer is indicating that he might not be a Christian. Ron Perlman, great voice, huh? Nice, deep, rich voice. Hey, Governor Ron DeSantis. Except less grovelly, right? Less disgusting. Ron here. And he gives this creepy, and I hate saying creepy, but it's a creepy, fake smile, and you could sense the fakeness. Looks deranged. Is deranged. Yeah. Is he Jewish? Is that true? Yeah. Chris says, stunning and brave. Do you know this guy, Chris? I'm used to talking with Chris, so can we talk to Chris? Chris, do you know this guy from anywhere else? Any other movies?
Yeah. I know him from a TV show called Sons of Anarchy.
Oh,
he was
okay.
One of the main characters on Sons of Anarchy.
I thought that was a documentary. But it's not, huh?
No, it was fiction.
And that's a biker gang type.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, he's an actor in many other films.
Right.
But most notably, in my opinion, or I mean, just to me personally, I mean, and that's probably his biggest role.
Yeah.
Other than Hellboy.
Okay.
Yeah, would be Sons of Anarchy.
Right. And Hellboy, he was like unrecognizable because Hellboy had all kinds of makeup and different things on his face and head.
Yeah. He's got all the prosthetics on and what have you. That's based off a comic book.
Right.
But yeah, and Sons of Anarchy. And when I thought that was a pretty good show. Especially when it was actually on TV, I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
Now looking back, it's
This is before you're fully awoke.
Yeah.
Awakened.
It's pretty degenerate, and there's certain things going on in it. But I mean, like I said, just in general, surface level, it was a good show.
Right.
It was entertaining, and I think sort of the subtext of the show was it was based off of, I think Othello is the story. It's something along the lines of the son or the son's mother is taken by a man, and then the son's real dad is murdered, and so he has to kill the stepfather or something like that.
Okay.
So that's kind of what's going on in the show, other than the biker gang stuff.
Right. Okay.
So that's like the drama portion of it.
Yeah. So they're taking off from like a classic Shakespeare story, I guess. Othello, is that Shakespeare?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's Othello that they based, like I said, some of the subtext of the story. But anyway, that's Ron Perlman. That's what I mostly know him from. Sons of Anarchy.
Is he a good actor? Like fun to watch? He seems like he would be.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would say, again, just basing it off of Sons of Anarchy, he sold me.
Right.
He played the character very well. Basically, in Sons of Anarchy, he is the leader of the biker gang.
Okay.
He's the president of the biker gang. The show is over, and it's been over for a long time. He is demoted eventually, but at the beginning of the show, the first couple seasons, if I'm remembering correctly, he's the president of the Sons of Anarchy.
How did that contrast with what you witnessed in his little display here? Short but sweet display.
Yeah, it's just kind of silly. In the show, he's very masculine. He's a tough guy, and in this, it's all show.
Yeah.
It's all show, and obviously Sons of Anarchy is totally fake, but at least his acting in Sons of Anarchy, I believed him as a tough guy.
Right.
Obviously, he's, in the show, there's a few more examples of why he's tough. He's very violent and what have you. But this, you watch a video like this, and it's just, I'm not buying it, man. You're just Hollywood. You're lame. You're not going to do anything. It's just all show. It's tough talk. Right. Not back, there's nothing to back it up. So, it's kind of silly.
When I watched this, I was like, offended because he just has no clue what he's talking about.
Yes.
And he's like cussing, no class.
Yeah.
He comes off totally fake at the beginning, and then he switches, And it's not really surprising when he switches because, like, you could just see the evil in his smile. He's like,
Yeah.
Ron here. Hey, Governor DeSantis, Ron here. With his fake sexy voice. And then
Trying to be suave.
he's like, say! And then he pretends to love America. I mean, I guess it's like the typical liberal, like these false values that like the Jewish and liberal and atheistic Hollywood
This
type
was very boomer.
promote.
It was very boomer too.
It was. That's true. Read about it.
First Amendment.
Read about it.
Read about it, then run for office. Whew. That's really
Got him.
Yeah, tip of the spear type stuff there, man. Groundbreaking hot take.
Indeed. And then I see a reaction from Mike Cernovich, whom I've followed on Twitter for some time. I finally turned off notifications because I was just getting too many notifications from Twitter. And so I haven't really followed Cernovich as closely as I have been for prior years.
Yep.
But I see him tweet underneath. He's like, this is great. How can I promote this video so that more Florida parents can see this video? I'm like, that's kind of brilliant because rather than like overreact with anger at this petty male, you can just take it and use it against them because these people are going kind of off the deep end against they call it controversial when it's just not controversial enough. These bills.
Right. Yeah, there's nothing really controversial about it at all.
Yeah. But it's just kind of, it's interesting seeing another person react in what I consider kind of a wise, trolly way. Oh, I really want to promote your message to parents, Florida parents. I'm cussing at the governor about the gay agenda being pushed on kids, right?
Yeah, it's a good tactic. I support that kind of thing. You basically, I support making fun of people. And,
they have no power, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Using sarcasm because the less serious you take them. I mean, there's a fine line.
Right.
There's a fine line. Obviously, it is serious because let's get real here. They are winning.
Yeah.
Kind of generally speaking, they are winning.
Yeah.
So you have to take that seriously, but there is a way you can use a strategy of not taking them seriously.
Right.
That is taking the situation seriously.
And I don't know what Cernovich's state is, like a spiritual state, but it is like, it just reminds me of Jesse's message of overcome anger, and then you can see clearly how to fight the battle.
Yes.
And I'm not saying that's even like a good example, but it just reminds me of there are so many different ways to react rather than being annoyed or getting this sleazy guy letting him get under your skin,
Yeah, because I'm sure if you went through the rest of the comments, there's probably other boomers
right.
in the comment section who are just really actually taking it very seriously and be like, tough talking back to him as if that's going to do anything.
True.
So yeah, as far as Cernovich goes, I would say that's a good response by him.
Great voice. What a waste, huh?
It is unfortunate. He does have a great voice. I will give him that.
Yeah.
Great voice. And despite not being the most handsome man.
Yeah. He still has some masculine look to him.
Yeah.
Even.
yeah. He has a masculine look, very jowly.
Yeah.
But he's a good actor. So, there's that. But I do not like this man. No.
Yeah.
Not a good guy.
Ron DeSantis says Disney and Hollywood's opposition to Don't Say Gay bill is a badge of honor. And that's a fair statement, too.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, I wonder what there's a bit of a sidebar, but I know that, Disney World is out there and all that stuff. And I know that Disney is moving a lot more out to Florida because of how trashy California is these days. Or just how overregulated it is, I suppose.
Yeah.
And it looks like there's a little bit of a tiff going on between, DeSantis and Disney moving more out there. I don't know all the details of if this is even related in any kind of way, but
they will try to, all these corporations do try to push their weight around, and the activists try to boycott the corporations that don't. So it's just endless pressure and intimidation.
Well, and they move, these businesses do, this is a tactic they use. They move to states that are better in many ways.
Right.
And they're better for them in a business sense. And because, you know, Disney doesn't really need to be located anywhere specifically. Obviously, they have their Disneyland and Disney World.
Right.
But they're, you know, the majority of their business, it only needs to be located what is best for their pocketbook. It doesn't have to be somewhere, you know, like a grocery store or something like that.
Right.
But the companies do that. They move to states, Wyoming, et cetera, et cetera.
Wow.
And then they try to manipulate the laws.
Yeah.
Which is
commie capitalism.
Yeah, exactly. It's pure evil. And if you don't have a strong governor, and then, you know, people below that just locally, you know, it is a tough. It's, if you're weak, it's tough because a big corporation comes into your state that's, you know, usually is only the economics is based off like farming or something like that.
Yeah,
which is good, but you got farming, and then boom, this major corporation comes in. Yeah, I mean, that's tempting you with real money.
Yeah,
and if you're weak, you will cave.
You know, we've seen these female governors and even male what I consider rhino governors.
Yeah,
they've like vetoed bills passed by their state legislatures, such as like, which I think this is so petty and like playing patty cake with evil. But, you know, those cringy bills that are outlawing transgenders in girls' sports.
Yes.
And then they get vetoed by their governor, and then they override the veto or whatever. But the governor will, like, Kristi Noem of like one of the Dakotas.
Yeah, South Dakota.
And others have like vetoed these bills, and I think that it's like playing nice with these corporations, corrupt corporations that are pro the LGBTIQ agenda. And those bills aren't even going far enough. Like these people don't even really belong in, you know, it's like public obscenity pushing this transgender agenda. But they don't want to deal with that. They just want to pretend to be the savior of the girls and the women. So phony.
Yeah, it's not really
it's not an issue of, like, there's a bigger, anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, well, that really is what it is. It's not a strong showing.
Right.
When you are met with opposition. You know, when you have a governor, a leader, for lack of a better word, you want to be presented as somebody that's strong, not this like haggler.
Right.
You know, there's a difference between you know, making a deal, which, you know, Trump is really good at doing.
Yeah.
Versus kind of doing these like little backroom dealings, and it's just not. You want to make a deal, but you want to be strong for your state.
Right.
And, you know, that's a great example. Like, Kristi Noem is just, one, she's a woman.
Right.
But two, she just there's nothing strong about her. She doesn't, you know, she seems very go along to get along. And then, again, as you said, she sort of takes she might have defended her state in the end, but she sort of did it in this really cringe, like, I'm defending women and women's sports. It's like, no, how about you stand up to this corporation and tell them, look, I'd like to do business with you, but you cannot come to my state and start pressing me on legislation.
Yeah.
You cannot try to manipulate the Chamber of Commerce, et cetera, the people below me. You cannot do that. They can say, I'd be happy to do business with you, but you cannot come in and try to manipulate me.
Another governor who recently did it, Matt Living the Dream, I think, points out, is Governor Eric Holcomb of Indiana. These beautiful, like, Midwestern states and all that. Yeah. And they're just, I don't get it. I mean, I get it because these people are weak. Yeah. So,
yeah, it's unfortunate. Yeah, because you can see it's insane to think, you know, you see DeSantis doing what he does. And you do ask the question, like, where are the rest of these people? There actually are none. Yeah. There are none. I've come to find, like, especially through COVID, I never really paid attention. I never paid that close attention to state governors and just state politics that much. But ever since COVID, and it just became clear, like, Newsom, I paid attention to Newsom since we live here.
Right.
But then since DeSantis rose in popularity, it kind of got me thinking about other states. And, I had never really thought about governors. I usually think about representatives like congressmen and senators. But then when I thought about how they operate within their states, I'm looking at these other states and you think they're salt of the earth, Midwest, red.
Yeah.
But I'm seeing this type of governance basically. Like they play ball basically.
Yeah.
And they'll take this little side route. Oh, I'm standing up for women or something like that.
Yep.
It's just pathetic. Stand up to these companies and stand up for your state.
Yeah, you have to address evil head on.
Right.
Don't pretend like anyway, they're phony. Totally phony.
Right.
What a mess.
Indeed.
Let me get to Tony in California is on the line. Speaking of mess, Tony, how are you doing? I will get to your super chats, guys. What's up, Tony?
Good morning, Hank. How the heck are you?
I'm great, thank you. How about you?
I'm doing just fine, my friend. I have a question because I see you always showing the Confederate flag, and you are proud patriot of the Confederate flag.
Yeah, it's a beautiful American flag.
Well, the thing is, it's a material thing, right? It's made out of material. There's nothing symbolic about that flag, right?
Oh, you said there's nothing symbolic about the beautiful Southern flag? The Southern
There's
Rebel
nothing,
flag?
Yes. It has no power, right? I mean, you say you're a Christian, right?
Right.
Okay, so why are you so proud of a material thing when your Bible speaks about putting material things ahead of God?
I never put this ahead of God. What are you talking about?
Well, you always speak how proudly you show more favoritism towards that flag than you do towards God.
In what way?
And in your actions and your speech.
That's your opinion.
And also,
That's your opinion.
You say, and also, since you're a Christian,
we will get to your calls, guys. Hang tight. Are you a Christian, Tony?
No, I'm not. I'm a human being, sir.
Oh, okay. You don't think Christians are humans?
I don't know. I'm trying to figure that out because the way of your actions, no, I don't think you're human. No, I think you're something like a beast or some type of animal.
Oh,
the way
okay.
y'all act sometimes.
Back at you.
But the thing is, sir, you consider yourself a Christian.
Yeah.
But
this is a Christian flag. Did you know that this is a Christian flag? I got confused which side of my laptop it's on.
Every time I see that flag, it always represents hate. And mostly.
Oh, see, I thought you said it wasn't a symbol.
Wait a minute.
You claimed that it was not a symbol. What the heck?
Wait a minute. No, I'm saying to you, sir, that it's not a symbol to me. But the thing
it's a symbol of Christianity. You think Christianity is about hate?
Well, in your eyes, yes.
No, it's not. In my eyes, it's about love.
Well, why do I see all hate groups with their flags every time they be out there parading around?
Which groups do you hate? Which groups do you hate that parade around this beautiful Christian flag?
What groups do I hate?
Yeah.
I don't hate no groups.
You said hate groups. You said hate groups. That means you hate these groups.
No.
Proud Boys? I've never seen Proud Boys fly this flag.
I see y'all use it for protection. Why y'all need protection when you got Jesse Lee Peterson prayer? Why would y'all need a Proud Boys for protection when y'all using Jesse Lee Peterson prayer? I don't understand that kind of conflict of interest.
Because no, prayer gives you a clear mind to use the gun or use the Proud Boys to protect yourself from the evil people.
Why you can't protect yourself? Why you need somebody else to get hurt?
Sometimes you need a little help. Sometimes you need a little help.
Oh, so you weak?
All human beings are weak, yes, and it's good to have some help against evil because Antifa.
You're a Christian.
You don't know what you're talking about, man.
and
You don't
pray
even know what
and
being a
start praying.
Christian means.
Well, hey, back when Martin Luther King came around, he ain't had no game. He preached nonviolence and love. Why y'all not doing the same thing since y'all Christian?
We are. What the heck?
But why you have to have the Proud Boys for protection there?
Are you really going to pretend that Martin Luther King had no protection?
Not for no violence. No, he didn't.
Yes, he did. He
What
had
violence
men
did he
around
show?
him all the time. You have
what
no clue
violence
what you're
did he
talking
show?
about.
What violence did he show?
And Martin Luther King,
on
Martin
Selma?
Luther King is not necessarily the greatest example. I don't know anything
Wait a
about
minute,
him.
wait a minute. No,
Nor do you.
Don't jump ship, my friend.
No,
Don't jump ship.
you're the one jumping
let's
ship.
Stay on the subject, my friend. What violence did Martin Luther King show?
I didn't say he showed violence.
Okay, then. So why the Proud Boys, every time they show up somewhere, it's always violence?
Because Antifa is there to attack. If
now
Antifa
you
and
put it
Black
on
Lives
Antifa.
Matter were not
But,
there, Proud Boys
maybe
would
if
not
you
be
did-
violent.
Maybe if Proud Boys didn't show up, it wouldn't be no violence. Ever thought about that?
Huh? No,
If
the
the
Proud Boys have a
had
right to
never
be
showed
there. They don't
up,
aggress,
it might not
by
be
and
no
large.
violence. Excuse me?
You make no sense. You have no clue what you're talking about, Tony.
Yes, I do, because
No, you
you
don't.
don't want to talk about the truth.
I am telling you the truth.
You exactly got to use the Proud Boy for protection, but you tell all your audience to pray.
Why do we need
Especially
protection,
Jesus in
Tony?
prayer.
Tony, why do we need protection?
I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out. That's why I'm asking the question.
So you're not familiar with Antifa or Black Lives Matter?
What Black Lives Matter attacked y'all before?
They've attacked many people. They've attacked
I
JLP.
said y'all. I said you injected.
Yeah,
What Black Lives Matter
they were
ever attacked?
assaulting. They assaulted us the year before
Where?
at
What
the
two
at the
Black
Straight
Lives
Pride
Matter?
rally.
No, we didn't say black people. We said Black Lives
Black
Matter.
Lives Matter. I'm talking about Black Lives Matter.
I attacking you.
Okay, I'm putting Tony on hold. For those of you who are not familiar with what's going on, he's talking about Proud Boys attending a mostly peaceful protest against the gay agenda and against Planned Parenthood killing the babies, right? And so we have this thing called the Straight Pride Rally, right? Straight Pride. And it has become an annual event. And we do it up in like NorCal somewhere, in Modesto, California. And it's put on by a man who cares about what's going on. He cares about the country and morality. And so JLP has spoken there, and we've protested in front of the Planned Parenthood at up in Modesto, California. And the first year we went, there was major media coverage of it. And Antifa, Black Lives Matter, and others were all there. This was August of 2019. And they surrounded us, the radical homosexuals and the Black Lives Matter scumbags and the Antifa people. But fortunately, the cops did not allow them to wear masks because this was before the China virus. They were not allowed to wear masks, and there were all the kinds of cameras. So they did assault and threaten us, but they could not batter us. Assaulting meaning they act like they're going to hit us, but they did not actually hit us that I'm aware of. And so the following years, we had Proud Boys there to separate the evil from the good, to protect us from being attacked because the cops weren't doing much. And so that's what he's talking about. And he's pretending not to know that Black Lives Matter and Antifa are the aggressors, not Proud Boys. So, Tony, you're a mess.
Yeah, you just lied. You just told the biggest lie you ever for a Christian I ever seen. I watched the whole thing y'all was out there in Modesto.
No, you didn't.
And Black Lives Matter did not attack y'all. Black Lives
Yes, they
Matter
did.
wasn't even out there.
Did you watch it? Did you watch in 2019, 2020, 2021?
It was a gay group out there. Hank, tell the truth.
There
man.
was Black Lives
You
Matter
think
there
you're
too.
No, they wasn't.
Yes, they
No,
were.
they wasn't.
See, you're ignorant. You're just lying.
Lie you can ever tell, bro.
Typical lying,
And
Tony.
see, that's why I don't participate in that falsehood of Christianity, because all y'all do is lie.
That's all you ever do when you call into my show is lie.
Yeah, okay. But you
And the JLP show. That's all you ever do is lie.
Answer my question. Why you ain't answer my question? Why do you represent a flag that represents hate? Every hate group in America walks around with that Confederate flag. Why are you not condoning that? Why are you not saying put that flag down because you're not a Christian? Why are you not doing that?
Which groups do you hate so much that fly this
I don't
Christian
hate-
flag?
Once again, stop putting words in my mouth or trying to put allegations.
Then why are you
on me,
putting
'cause I
words
don't
in our
hate no one.
mouths? Why are you putting words in
I
the
don't
mouth
hate
of this
no
beautiful
one,
flag?
sir. I don't hate no one. I'm just trying
Yes,
to
you
figure
do.
out how do you represent a flag that
Don't
represents
put
hate?
words in our mouths, Tony.
I'm not putting words in
Yes,
your
you
mouth.
are.
I'm asking you about
Yes,
the
you are.
flag.
You're putting
I'm
words
asking
in
you about the
you're putting
flag.
words in our mouths when you call us a hate group or say this is a hate symbol. It's not a hate symbol.
So you saying the Proud Boys ain't no hate group?
Correct. The Proud Boys
Oh,
are
my
about
God.
love for the country and
Yeah,
love for
love
Western
for white
civilization.
Love for white folks and
Do you love white people?
I love all people.
No, you don't.
It ain't about the
No, you
white
don't.
people. It's
You're a
all-
liar.
This is
Lying.
the United States. United States. Okay?
Bye, Tony.
Unite. Do you see the word unite?
Bye, Tony.
Have a good day, sir.
All right, you too. What a mess. Jared, first time caller in Missouri. There's one line open, guys. What's up, Jared? How are you doing?
Hey, what's up, James? How you doing, man?
Chilling.
Chilling, dude. Hey, Tony is a mess, dude.
I know.
Oh my goodness, I don't even know where to start with that. But he kind of draws into my point. My point was a little bit more about predictive programming and psychological warfare. If you're interested in hearing what I got to say.
You want to talk about psychological warfare and programming?
Yeah, basically.
Go ahead.
All right. So all of the mainstream media, everything we see on.
You're
You know,
breaking
like
up,
people-
buddy.
Can you hear me?
I can, but it sounds like you're dipping underwater or something.
Yeah, I don't know why that happens. But so the media, basically, to sum it up, all of it is run on algorithms. And they collect data, which I'm sure you're aware of, the governments of the world, right? So before technology, they had to rely on spies to use like psychological warfare on the peoples so that they could distribute power among their puppets. Well, now they use technology. And with this technology, the result you get is the last caller, literally. A discombobulated mess of confusion.
Yeah.
That's all you get from it, and that's their goal, because when they can get the human mind in that state, then there is no morality, because there's no way to identify what's good and what's evil. It's like being asleep. And anyway, I thought you'd want to look into that a little more, and maybe the audience listening, because when a person comes to understand that, they can see through the lies. And most everything we're hearing right now are like bold-faced lies.
Yeah.
On the left and the right.
All right. I don't know about the algorithm thing, but what you said it bears out with how people just don't think for themselves. They just buy what they've heard.
That's right.
It's crazy.
Well, oh, go ahead, man. My bad.
I said it's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy. Well, the algorithm is not run by people. It's run by AI.
I know. I don't. That whole part of what you're saying, I don't get. I don't get what you mean.
Well, okay. So you've seen Elon Musk and the AI system he's trying to develop for self-driving cars, correct?
Yeah.
Like you've heard about it? Okay. Now, think of how governments, if you look in history, you'll see that governments always excel and advance way faster than they let the people know. They develop technologies, weapons. They're doing it 10, 20, 30, 40 years before they even reveal it.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah. No, I know so. I mean, it's in history, and they don't change. We're at war with demons inside of people. That's what we're at war with. So I know that their activities remain the same until Jesus comes again. And it's just the way it is. I mean, if someone could prove me wrong, I'm all for it. But this is what I see in history. Right now, these people, these puppets, they got evil spirits running and operating their bodies. So, I mean, it's pretty clear by what they're pushing, right?
Do you think that's any different from the rest of us?
Yeah, because when you have the Spirit of Christ, you're born again, you become one with God.
No, I'm saying, do you think that's the evil spirits inside of them? You think that's any different from the rest of the society?
No, that's so you mean in like, or are you like asking if Christians are in that category as well?
I'm talking about the rest of society, man. What the heck?
The world. Yeah, Christians don't. They've been born again, but yeah, the rest of society.
All
that's
Christians
what
have
this is all
not been
about.
born again.
Well, I'm talking about born again. I'm not talking about.
So I'm talking about the rest of us, the rest of the people. You're saying that these people in the top are demon possessed. Is that any different from the voters?
Okay, that's a really good question. So through their
It's a yes or no
devices-
question, buddy.
Yes, with a lot of people, obviously, all over the world, James. I mean, all we have to do is look.
You mean yes, it's different, or yes, it's not different?
Yeah, no, it's the same.
All right.
It's the same. It's just different levels.
Yeah,
Because these
for
people
sure.
take part in practices that, people who are struggling with everyday life aren't practicing. These people have wealth, power, influence, the ability to travel far. They live like kings.
Yeah. That's
And,
true.
this
Yeah,
is
when you
important
have think about how you have all that temptation and so-called worldly power, there's no limit to your corruption, because you'll just go with all kinds of evil. But when you're limited in what you can do, what you got to get away with, how busy you're kept working and all that, you're not as able to do as much damage, at least not outwardly, only to your own family.
That's a good point.
I appreciate
it's a
it, Jared.
blessing.
Nice to hear from
What'd
you,
you
man.
say? Yeah, thank you, man. I appreciate you hearing it out.
Yeah, take care.
You as well, man.
All right. Before I get to calls, let me read some super chats. Man, we're getting to the top of the hour already. Yikes. Sorry, guys. Geronimo yesterday, I read this already, but I'm going to read it again because she gave a few. Said, since those in power have an interest to control people, they have an interest in creating the so-called racism. Well, she doesn't say so-called. To divide. That's why the Will Smith thing could be very well staged, because it is giving people a reason to overreact emotionally, and the racist idea stays alive. I don't know. Geronimo says, another reason to see the Will Smith thing as being staged, it makes it seem all right to shut up a comedian. Comedians were always there in society to speak truth to power, to criticize, make fun of those in power, the ultimate allowance for free speech. Also, we maybe shouldn't underestimate the boost that the Will Smith thing gave to the female ego and the idea of feminism, which is made up just like racism to gain control over people, and is also just another emasculating kick in the war on men. Yeah, I mean, he just made a fool of himself. But, okay, Geronimo, I accept. Thank you for the super chats and thoughts. Your girlfriend states with a super chat from this morning, for Chris, I'd like to point out how the Hillary email Libya/Benghazi scandal was a huge point of contention for voters in the 2016 election. The Will Smith-Chris Rock debacle is a necessary distraction from Biden since we're in a midterm election year. And you say, Chris?
Well, that it's were they specifying between different distractions or something like that?
Yeah, I think she was pointing out that that there were scandals plaguing Hillary, and there are I assume she's implying that there are scandals plaguing Biden.
Yeah.
In this midterm election year.
Yes.
So she's saying that this is a necessary distraction from Biden, the Will Smith, Chris Rock thing.
Well,
And she's not one to say that it's staged.
yeah. No,
but just the
I get
media
the.
attention.
Yeah, that is a real thing that happens. Like, I don't discount, again, conspiracies, like things being staged or what have you. I don't discount that. I'm sure that does happen.
Yeah.
But I would tend to agree with this. The things happen, and then the media can use them as a distraction. Yeah, that's also true. I mean, these things happen.
Yeah.
That's what they do. I mean, again, a distraction. Joe Biden is going to be the president for seemingly 4 years or whatever.
Right.
Let's just assume, if you'll allow me, this story is going to be over by the end of the week.
Yeah.
Like 48 hours is the norm.
True.
48 hours is the norm.
News cycle for this type of thing, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, a cycle of distractions will always be there. It's a distraction from the midterms. I mean, again, is that true on its face? Yes. It's just not. That's not a conspiracy, though.
Right.
That's just what they do. That's what the media does.
Yep.
They barrage. They just pummel you with tons of information, most of it fat.
Yeah.
And
it's so funny how they direct our attention. Like they definitely. I mean, I read these CNN headlines every day. They just have us on.
Yes.
January 6th, Ukraine, China virus, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And their LGBT agenda.
Yeah.
So it's just they direct what your attention is on with their headlines. If you're one to follow those headlines, I guess you could follow somebody else's headlines or look for yourself at different things. But
yeah, precisely.
Yeah.
And that in and of itself is a distraction.
Yep.
It's fine. It's good to be aware. I would say things are going on, things are happening. You
Yeah.
operate a certain way. Sometimes you do need to react to things. But again, start where you're at and then work your way out.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, again, I don't really disagree. I don't disagree. Yeah, it is a distraction. But again, the norm, it's a 48-hour news cycle. This is a kind of a big thing.
Right.
But you remember the Joe Rogan incident?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that lasted a couple days. Yada yada yada. It's a new thing. But again, the Ukraine thing is not letting up. There's plenty of other issues with Biden.
Yeah.
And again, the distractions will always be there. And that's just not a conspiracy. That's just
right.
That's the purpose of the media.
It's the purpose of Satan, really, because
he's
like
there
you said,
to deceive you.
Chris was talking about taking time off of from music, just being in silence and quiet, and that's, I think, more important than even focusing on the correct news stories and stuff like that. It's more important to be quiet so that God can direct your focus, really. So
yeah. I definitely looked at it that way because there was a time when I first started working here when I was solely doing social media.
Right.
And I will literally tell you, once I started doing this, instead I was burnt out. I was burnt out. Because, I mean, I was like, do it Saturday, Sunday. I would wake up, jump on.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, news, consumption.
Right.
And I was burnt out. It literally was like it can affect you because I just don't.
Yeah, I think that's
I don't
what
know
happens to people because we get callers who are just crazy, and I think that does happen to people. And you see, like, women are more mentally ill than ever in history, and it's partly because they're worrying their pretty little heads about politics and public health and all this mess that they have no clue why they're worried or anything. They're buying everything wrong.
Yes.
Yeah.
And again, this is part of my job, but just a quick thing. Russia, Ukraine. How much information do I actually need to know about this situation?
I know.
It's fine to be informed. And again, it's part of my job.
Yeah.
So I'm a little more informed maybe than the average person. I've looked into it a little more just so I can be aware for if I need to talk to Jesse about it or whatever.
True.
But like I don't need to be that aware of it.
I know. I'm probably the least informed of all the radio crew, and I'm hosting a show. Like the callers tell me about stuff, and I'm like, really?
Right.
And I'm hosting a show. I'm not even as informed as my audience.
Yes.
And yet they still tune in.
Yeah. It's not.
So you
always
don't have to.
It's not always about consuming news. It's mostly just about having clear vision.
Right.
And offering not necessarily solutions, but just with clarity, you can then come onto the show and just present a rational and realistic worldview.
Yeah.
That's what you're presenting with clarity. And do you need to know about the annexation of Crimea? Do you need to know about the Civil War in Donbass?
Nope.
Not not necessarily. Like, if you want to spend some time and talk about that on the show, why Ukraine and NATO and Russia, why it's the good and bad and the nitty gritty. Sure, you want to give information to the audience. That's all well and good, but it's mostly just about being, having clarity, being truthful, being an example, not having your head all over the place. But not consuming all the time. Because I went from doing that, and then I was like, you know what? I'm going to take a break from the news, but I'm always going to be listening to audiobooks.
Oh, man.
I'm going to be consuming, political analysis and philosophical breakdowns and X, Y, and Z. And then I was like, oh, this is literally the same thing.
Yeah.
It's just consumption, and it's overwhelming you with information. So
right.
I try to, throughout the day, I just have kind of specific times where I allow for consumption.
Yeah.
And it can be music or, entertainment type television or a film or something like that, or news, or again, like an audiobook type thing or something like that. I just have shrunk the window.
Yeah.
It helps a lot. It changes a lot of things for you.
That's cool, man, for sure.
Yeah.
We are at the top of the hour, guys, just past the top of the hour. Let us get to some beautiful music. I've been playing 6 Organs of Admittance, the 2006 album The Sun Awakens on Drag City Records. This is track 4, The Desert is a Circle, guys. Enjoy. Press mute, you musical Philistines. But I think you'll probably like it okay. The Desert is a Circle, 6 Organs of Admittance. I'll be right back for the rest of hour 2. Your calls and more mess. Tumbleweeds Blowing. Rawhide. Actually a good song. Play this on Tuesdays, says Colin B. Wild Wild West vibes. This is really good. Song sounds like something off a Quentin Tarantino film, says Taking Care of Business. Shaggy Boy says, Hassan made James look bad. Oh, cold. But thank you. I think I am starting to like this CD, says Willie Powell. The forest is a square. The desert is a circle. The forest is a square. Clever, Tim Scott. We will never escape Hake's music. Indeed. I likes this musica. Well, appreciate it, guys. Thank you for bearing with me through that. Before I get back to calls, I gotta get to the super chats. There are more to go. Lin Yen Chin with the cold take says, Chris, Lord Goodhair, why did you guys let a frat girl named Hassan host the show? She, her sister, and her mother were guests in the hunting shack, referring to Ted Nugent. And he's calling Hassan a girl. What the heck? Hassan is the guest host of the Jesse Lee Peterson show today. Hope you checked it out. Even her girlfriend called in to further stain the show, says Lin Yin Chin. Just cold calling Hassan, Ted Nugent's son Rocco, and then Hassan's girlfriend, all girls. Well, one of them is a girl. Well, thank you, Lin Yen Chin. That's cold. Espert Bibby42 with the super chat says, oh, Ronnie Perlman. Why doesn't he just come out and say he enjoys being blanked on by younger blank? just like Mark Ruffalo and Anderson Cooper. I bet the three of them know a good time when it comes to knocking. What a mess. A big fat mess. Well, thank you, Espert Bibby42. Your girlfriend states about the Congress. My first caller talked about this. You know, Matt Gaetz was trying to get the Hunter laptop thing into the Congress on the record or something like that, and I guess Fat Jerry Nadler blocked it. Your girlfriend states they want permission to reveal the Hunter Biden laptop, but not Trump's taxes? Interesting. Yep, always the double standard against the real man in favor of the fake man. Giordano Stee says, you've been with Jesse so long, I have your old picture with Jesse I found from somewhere. Hollywood is brainwashing people all over the world. People in the third world think life is like the movies here in the U.S. I know, but the third world, we have it here. Lin Yen Chin states, because of time, Lord Goodhair, please stop breathing through your mouth. It makes your mind drift into forgetfulness and impulsive mode. Very bad for the immune system and your individuation, aka sapience, or what intellectuals wrongly call consciousness. Well, thank you for the advice, Lin Yen Chin. Sorry, everybody. I almost apologize only to the kids. I'm a little bit congested, I guess. Perhaps that's why I'm a mouth breather today and every day. But thanks, Lin Yen Chin. I appreciate that advice. Your girlfriend says, ask Tony. Oh, apologize, your girlfriend. Ask Tony how AB 5 bill in California affects his business. Yeah, because Tony claims that he operates a trucking company business in California. And California AB 5 bill is about the employees and independent contractors. And it was affecting the Uber drivers and the Lyft drivers because they are independent contractors, or were. But it forces them to, since they operate in the same type of work that the business purports to, be in, they're not allowed to be independent contractors. Same thing with trucking companies. Truckers are oftentimes independent contractors. They own their own truck or rent it, whatever, and they drive on contract for a company. They're not a full-time regular employee of that company. But now that California pretends to care about the employees, Lorena Gonzalez wrote that bill. She's an evil person who's a politician in California, and basically made it untenable for a lot of truckers. So what a shame. Maybe I'll ask Tony about that. I feel like I might have asked him before, but I don't know if you can't get a clear answer out of Tony. And speaking of that, Brandon M. over there on Odyssey says, Hake, why do you keep trying to have logical conversations with someone who admittedly didn't know the difference between fiction and nonfiction? Did he say that? He said he didn't know the difference. Oh, yeah, I vaguely remember that. Thank you, Brandon M. It's a bad habit. I don't know what gets into me. Maybe it's because I'm a mouth breather, so I'm not, I'm forgetful and low impulse control and bad individuation. MLK had bodyguards, by the way, says Brandon M. One was named Dabney Montgomery, and they carried firearms. Tony's giving idiotic examples once again. Taking care of business says, didn't Antifa call into JLP last year and said they had people outside his home? I remember the call from that evil woman. Gee, I wonder why they need protection, Tony. Yeah. Ledge Klinger says with the super chat, Tony needs to understand this, that unmitigated violence by BLM and Antifa, among other groups, will eventually be met with equal and greater force. Complain and deceive all you want. Evil's progress will be met at some point, and we will not bow down to your deceptions. Yeah, that's true. And that's why you have to fight in the right way, which most of the Proud Boys, I dare say, those who have gotten into fights, have fought the right way, purely defensive. But some, perhaps, maybe got carried away, because evil is going out of control. And so some of the good guys, if you will, may sometimes be ill-advised in their response to this great evil, attacking the whites, the men, the Christians, the Americans, the Trump supporters, the free speech type people. So, yes, we have to be wise and be anger-free. Thank you, Ledge Klinger. That's that for that, I think. Let me just double-check here. Indeed. Thank you, guys. So, let me get to Niall in Colorado. He wants to talk about this Chris Rock and Will Smith thing. Niall, thank you for holding. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. James, how are you?
Doing well as well. Thanks.
Good. Well, so I've been following I follow another Marine that has a podcast, and he was talking about this slap around the world, and he had a good kind of take on it. And what he was saying is that the biggest promoter and a financial distributor to the Grammys is Pfizer.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And
the Grammys. The Grammys or the Oscars?
Yeah, Oscars. I'm sorry, Oscars.
Okay.
And he said they're the biggest, contributor money-wise. And, of course, we know how Hollywood is. They're all in that whole realm. Well, he said that, of course, Will Smith's wife has that alopecia disease.
Allegedly. Yeah.
Allegedly. Well, guess who has the kind of a pill or a medication for it that just came out?
Pfizer?
Pfizer.
Wow.
Yeah. So, whether it was...
It's all connected.
It's all connected. That's all. So I found that kind of interesting that, there's always you could go down rabbit holes. Anyone can go down a rabbit hole and find all kinds of stuff. But when the lines start connecting at a point, you're like, you have to kind of wonder, It's like, how far does this go, And I just keep an open mind on everything. And like I said, my life is as much as it, really hasn't changed a lot since everything's been going on, because I've been sticking with what Jesse's been saying. And after the men's conference, I was really enlightened, meeting great guys there and whatnot. And, so it's just interesting that you just don't let outside influences bother you.
Yeah.
To a sense, and I find it, just a very, easing now that, things that used to really kind of get me worked up, now I just, I can kind of see everything around it. And it's like, it's not even worth getting worked up about.
Right. Yeah,
I had a
true.
discussion with my brother the other day. It was his birthday, and he's, we're 2 years apart. I'm 50, and he just turned 49. So I was asking him, I said, so what are you going to do for your big birthday, on your big 50? And he told me he's going to the motherland.
What motherland? Which one is that?
Africa.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, interesting. I was like,
Is he
okay.
black?
We're mixed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, white and black.
Okay.
And I found it interesting, and he lives downtown San Diego, and I live in Colorado, so we have different mindsets on things. And I was just like, okay. And he was like, well, what's the problem with that? And I was like, he's like, go back and see our heritage. And I'm like, I wasn't born in Africa. I was born in America.
Right.
And oh man, that set him off.
So he's into that black thing, huh?
Oh, he is so into his blackness. And I was like, well, I said, look, man, I was born in America. I was like, I served my time in the Marine Corps. When I was in the Marine Corps, we were all green. There's, light, dark green. That's all we are.
I gotcha.
And I said, for me, the only thing I'd like to go to Africa and see is a silverback gorilla. That's it. And I can see those in the zoos in America.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but I just couldn't believe, because I saw, as soon as he said that and he got excited and was, well, why do you hate black people? I said, I don't hate black people at all. I love black people. I love everyone. I just hate the actions of some.
Right.
Just like I hate the actions of some white people, Hispanics, whatever. It's just common. Like,
right.
Yeah, I'm gonna be aware of my surroundings whenever I go out somewhere. I don't care what color they are, how light, how dark. I'm always aware of my situational awareness. Basically, is what it is.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I just thought that meeting Jesse and meeting you guys back at the men's conference, and I've only been following for about a year. I've forgiven my mother. I haven't been able to forgive my father yet because I'm not. He lives in Arizona, and I'm not able to get out there right now because I was going to go there for Thanksgiving, but because my wife and I aren't jabbed up.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, he didn't want us coming out there.
Oh well.
Oh well, that's what I said. And I said, well, I'll get with you some other time. So we're hoping to get down there the next couple of months, and then I'm gonna forgive my father, and then I'll be 100% on my way.
Nice, man.
So
you have kids?
Yeah, that's all I had. What's that?
You have kids?
Yes, my kids are older. I had kids right when I went in the Marine Corps.
Oh, okay.
I was 18 when I went into the Marine Corps. I was married. I had 2 boys and a girl. We had talked about this before. All my kids are American Indian.
Oh, okay.
I used to say Native American until you stopped me from that.
Nice. Right
so
on.
They're American Indian, and so they're doing well. My boys are, they're on their path, and my daughter's she's very open-minded to things that I talked to her about.
Cool.
And I talked to Jesse about it, and because when I raised her, I had custody of her from when she was 10.
Nice.
She's an adult now, and it was, I raised her in the sense that don't lean on a man to take care of you. Basically, you got to do for yourself. You got to be a powerful person, and that was wrong. And that's what I was talking to Jesse about. I was like, I realized how bad that was to tell her, and to raise her that way.
Yeah.
Even though she's a very independent person, now that I see, the way, I'm like, wow. I was like, man, I could have done this so much differently, but she, in sense, has actually made very good decisions, and she's doing well.
Yeah.
Per se.
Nice,
for
man.
the most part, she keeps an open mind on everything. So,
all right.
Yeah. So that's all I had for you. So yeah,
well, it's good to hear from you, Nile. I appreciate it, man.
Yes, definitely, James.
Don't necessarily buy into the notion that the slap was staged on Pfizer's behalf or anything.
No. Yeah, exactly. It's just, food for thought.
Well,
whatever.
it's when there's some news that comes out, that's a time for a company that's working in whatever thing to jump on that and exploit it to promote their thing. And Pfizer, they're a major company that works up drugs for any little physical ailment. And I don't trust most of them. I think that we should be just eating right and sleeping right and getting enough exercise and whatever. And hopefully that eliminates the need for their dumb drugs. But of course, they're going to jump on this with a Pfizer promotion. I see March 28th, when Laura lost her hair at just 6 years old to alopecia, her classmates had a lot of questions. Now at 19, Laura is helping others understand the condition she had and 147 million people around the world live with. Hear their stories, and so they're promoting this stuff. And they're liberals, and they promote on practically every event and every channel and stuff. They promote their whatever they have, drugs, whatever you want to call it, everywhere. Pfizer's huge and commie capitalist company. Unsurprising all around. But thanks, man.
Thank you, James. Keep up the great work, Chris.
Kickflip Chris.
And yeah, and it was great to see Hassan there.
Thumbs up.
Hassan Chop.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to meet him at the men's convention. So it was awesome.
Nice. That's right.
I can't wait to see you guys at this year at the next one.
Sounds good, man. Take care.
Take care of yourself. You also.
All right. Stephen in Manchester, England is on. Is it Stephen or is it? Am I pronouncing it correctly, Stephen?
Yeah, Stephen's fine, or Steve. Either's good.
All right. From Manchester, England. How you doing?
Mate? I'm very good, mate. Good to speak to you, my friend.
Yeah.
Just want to say thank you to you and Jesse for everything you've done for me in the past 4 or 5 years. Completely changed my life, changed my daughter's life, changed everything.
Cool.
Amazing message all the time.
Yeah,
Being
true.
a strong man, what it's about. I wanted to ring about the Ron Perlman thing.
Yeah.
Basically, we need to check that guy's laptop. we need to check his laptop, Anderson Cooper's, all these guys. Anyone who's defending that is obviously involved in that or covering for something, mate, you know.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely supporting evil. And, you know, I hate to repeat the line I called his smile creepy. And I hate referring to any man as that because people are saying that about men who are just normal. And so, and especially white men, but I guess he's white passing, not a normal white. But he's an evil person, apparently, or he's willing to be used by evil, which is the same thing. So,
I mean, you can just see it once you, like Jesse says, once you start noticing evil, you just see it immediately. You see it in people, you see it in situations, you just see it.
Yeah.
You can't unsee it, can you, anymore, you know?
Nope. True.
And Tony, he is a total beta. There's no way he owns some trucking business. He's too much of a beta for that.
You think so?
That ain't happening.
I think that you might be surprised how goofy and idiotic even a business owner can be. I mean, I love business owners and I love businessmen, but we're all capable of being insane in some ways and having total blind spots, which Tony definitely has. So I don't know. I can't say whether he is or isn't a business owner.
Well, yeah, I suppose he is in California as well. So
right. And I don't even know if he's really in California. Yeah. But anyway, crazy.
It's crazy.
But thank you, Stephen. Or Steve.
No worries.
Good to hear from you.
It was amazing to speak to you, mate, and keep up the good work, yeah? Honestly, you're doing great work. You really are. You really are.
I appreciate that. Take care.
Take care, my friend.
All right. Quick super chat from your girlfriend states, remember when Will slapped that reporter for kissing him on the cheek? I don't know if I remember that. Did that happen? Do you remember that? We don't remember that, but it's, for some reason, something rings a bell about it. Thank you, your girlfriend. I'll have to look into that. Your girlfriend doesn't make stuff up either. Interesting. Oh, man. I guess you reap what you sow, right? It's in the Bible. The non-Christians call it karma, but the Bible says you reap what you sow. Anyway, let me get back to this gay agenda mess. Pete Buttigieg slammed the Don't Say Gay bill in a nonsensical Marjorie Greene speech. Pete Buttigieg is the guy who you saw in the opening slideshow thing. Buttigieg is Sleepy Joe Biden, supposedly Catholic guy. His first openly gay man, so-called man, who has served in the presidential cabinet. He's the head of the Department of Transportation. Former mayor of South Bend, Indiana, who together with his so-called husband, Chasten, look at that. Can you get any more not morally straight looking with that type of a wave? Well, Pete's trying to act tough, trying to act a little bit manly, but his partner in crime, partner in immorality, they adopted twin infants last summer. And by the way, he took some paternity leave. What a mess, huh? Probably not a real father. He cast his objections to this new Florida law that outlaws pushing the gay agenda and transgender agenda and non-binary, these fake ideas and perverted ideas onto kids, right, in schools. The law would ban any discussion about sexual disorientation and gender false identity in some elementary school grades, ages 5 through 8. Look, bottom line, it's hurting kids, says Pete Buttigieg. Be quiet, man. He said that about the Florida law during an interview with Yahoo News' Skullduggery podcast. I think about what life might be like for our kids when they start school. If they were in a place like Florida, it might stop them from mentioning that they had a great time over the weekend with their dads. What a disgusting person this guy is, huh? And then you have so-called conservatives saying, oh yeah, congratulations, radical homosexuals, getting a surrogate mother because you have to go outside of your homosexuality to have a baby. What a mess. Buttigieg criticized political figures on the right for pushing such legislation, more than 200 bills eroding protections for transgender and gay youth. So stupid. This is a Yahoo News article by Michael Isikoff, chief investigative correspondent. This is his writing, purportedly, or his editors. Eroding protections for transgender and gay youth. I'm shaking my head here. Describing them as a calculated diversion from more pressing matters. This is part of a very familiar political playbook, Buttigieg said. And on the part of the rhinos, it's true because they don't care about what's right. They're not. Otherwise, they would push on what's right hard. Anyway, he also went after Marjorie Greene, who spoke, I guess, at a Trump rally in Georgia, something like that. Yeah, she spoke at a rally headlined by Trump to boost the campaign of former Senator David Perdue in his primary challenge to Republican Governor Brian Kemp, whom Trump also had endorsed. But Brian Kemp was very disappointing in the 2020 election, right? Because Kemp did not push hard for election integrity. He went along with the mainstream. Interesting, huh? So Marjorie Greene said, you know what, Pete Buttigieg, she might have said Buttigieg, can take his electric vehicles and his bicycles, and he and his husband can stay out of our girls' bathrooms. Nice, Marjorie Greene. She drew loud cheers, not queers, loud cheers from the boisterous crowd. And that's right, Queen. I'm chuckling a bit because Marjorie Greene, I don't like these women in office, but I appreciate her for at least trying to stand up a little bit. Ridiculous. Oh, let me show you this. Another person who doesn't seem quite morally straight. This is a headline from NBC so-called news, Florida's anti-gay bill. This is a headline by one Daniel Putnam. Florida's anti-gay bill is wrong. It's also unconstitutional. And the subheader says, the extraordinary vagueness of what critics call the Don't Say Gay bill could have a chilling effect on the free speech of LGBTQ teachers and students. And a highlighted quote from this article reads, we can assume straight teachers are less likely to be caught in the crosshairs of HB 1557 than their LGBTQ colleagues. And this is, look at the guy who wrote this. It's Daniel Putnam, Furman scholar at New York University. Look at that face. I'm looking at the face of a guy who looks like he's about 19 years old. Maybe he's 29. Maybe he's in his 30s. But he looks like he's young and mature. Got a big forehead, like almost as big as mine. Maybe not a Christian. Doesn't look quite Christian. Doesn't look quite morally straight. I don't know. Looks like I don't know. But anyway, this guy is a man who NBC News, with their opinion pieces, want us to take seriously as an authority on Constitution and the so-called anti-gay bill. And here's another, adding on to that, another teacher, a Florida teacher. Look at this, listen to this headline. This is from The Hill. And actually, I have this headline. Florida teacher, I don't want to have to hide my personal life from my students. I'm not sure what I called this one. But the subheader says, Florida kindergarten teacher, Corey Bernhardt, on Tuesday, said the state's new so-called Don't Say Gay law will force him to keep his young students at arm's length. Isn't that terrible? Oh, the horror of a radical homosexual kindergarten teacher, male kindergarten teacher, no less, named Corey Bernhardt, is going to have to keep his young students, 5 years old, at arm's length. Only arm's length? How about just get him out of the classroom, right? That's from The Hill, which it's The Hill's section on this is called Changing America. Isn't that subversive? Shared Destiny, Shared Responsibility by one Brooke Migdon, who also wrote some article in gaysonoma.com. I told you The Hill was far left. I'm laughing because I'm seeing quotes. I'm seeing chats from people. She wrote an article called U.S. LGBTQ plus population hits 20 million. We the people, from gaysonoma.com. That's from Brooke Migdon, who also wrote this article in The Hill. Apparently The Hill is far left. Just because they employed John Solomon, who's probably the centrist guy, decent reporter maybe, decent journalist who's been on Fox News talking about different things that are favorable towards Trump. People say, oh, The Hill is right-wing. No, The Hill is pretty far left. Pretty sick, huh? Pretty sick. A kindergarten teacher. I don't want to have to hide my life to my personal life to my students. They're 5-year-olds. You guys don't even know about my personal life. Oh my gosh. And most of you guys are adults. And this guy doesn't want to hide his... How not morally straight can you be that you are so egotistical? Okay, what's that woman who I highlighted who wants to share her... She's dead now. She died recently. She wants to share her personal life with the world. I want them to know everything about me. But she didn't know she was... Madeleine Albright. She didn't know that she was Jewish until a few days ago in 1997 when the Washington Compost exposed my family as falsely converting to Catholicism to protect themselves or something like that. What a mess, huh? Anyway. She wants to share the world, and this girl, or Corey Bernhardt, maybe he's a guy. I'm assuming. Anyway. Gross, huh? Pretty gross. Pretty sick stuff. Big Bump says about that prior guy, the Furman scholar. The guy doesn't look constitutionally straight, let alone morally straight. Yeah. Do I have time for this? I have to share it with you. This was trending on Twitter. Pansexual was trending on Twitter. Let me jump right to it. Clip 13. Real Chris Rufo. Yeah. This is what is in the explanation. Disney executive Carrie Burke, this is Twitter's explanation, says that as the parent of one transgender child and one pansexual child, she supports having LGBTQIA plus and racial minorities represented through Disney characters. Talk about outright subversion in your face. And it was covered in Daily Mail. And Christopher Ruffo, who's against, he's like this mainstream guy who didn't he congratulate Dave Rubin on this gay guy so-called gay for pretending to have kids? Anyway, he's promoting this video with an Asian wife, by the way. Chris Ruffo has an Asian wife. The guy whom he congratulated has a male so-called husband, also called Dave. What a mess, huh? Or David. The Walt Disney Company, this video is from the Walt Disney Company. It's a screen recording. Reimagine Tomorrow. Reimagine Tomorrow. Disney corporate president Carrie Burke, with a K, K-A-R-E-Y, Burke says, well, listen to what she says. Listen to this. 2 minutes long.
I'm here as a mother of two queer children, actually. One transgender child and one pansexual child, and also as a leader. And that was the thing that really got me, because I have heard so much from so many of my colleagues over the course of the last couple of weeks, in open forums and through emails and phone conversations. And I feel a responsibility to speak, not just for myself, but for them, to all of us. We had an open forum last week at 20th where, again, the home of really incredible, groundbreaking LGBTQIA stories over the years, where one of our execs stood up and said, we only have a handful of queer leads in our content. And I went, what? That can't be true. And I realized, it actually is true. We have many, many, many LGBTQIA characters in our stories, and yet we don't have enough leads and narratives in which gay characters just get to be characters, and not have to be about gay stories. And so that's been very eye-opening for me. And I can tell you, it's something that I feel perhaps had this moment not happened, I, as a leader, and me as my colleagues, would not have focused on. And going forward, I certainly will be more so. I know that we will be, and I hope this is a moment where, the 50% of the tears, sorry, are coming. We just don't allow each other to go backwards.
What a psycho. She's a so-called leader and a mother. Pretty mama. But she's like in her 50s and has kids, and she's working at Disney as an executive. And I was cracking up because she was saying LGBTQIA. And I say that, but I'm saying it mockingly, ironically. She said it unironically, unmockingly, just going right along. And she looks like she's a Gen Xer. Like she should know better. Disney television animation executive producer, a different person, LaToya Raveneau, said everyone supported her not at all secret gay agenda. Whoa. So it's more than just this woman pushing the gay agenda in Disney. Disney partner Nadine Smith, co-founder of Equality Florida, I spit again, said the goal of the Republican bill was to take children from their parents. That's a lie. That's the exact opposite of what it's doing, you evil person. Disney theme parks no longer assume that little girls want to be called princess. So this woman that you just heard, Carrie Burke, choked up during Monday. That was Monday that she said this. I guess it was a meeting with all hands within this, at least this section of Disney, saying the issue hit close to home because of her children. They're two queer children. One of them transgender, one of them pansexual. How degenerate. Spitting isn't very ladylike, says Misty. Yeah, I know. What a mess, huh? So sick. Let me get to Blazing Hogs in Ohio. Blazing Hogs, how you doing?
Hola, sí, señor, sí.
Hey.
I've been in and out of the show today, so I don't know if you guys might have already went over this.
Oh, you're fine. Go ahead.
It happened Monday night at a birthday party. My daughter showed me the video of it last night. It happened in St. Louis, Missouri. A 12-year-old girl, her 14-year-old cousin's birthday party. Everybody's over there. Well, the 12-year-old girl and her cousin, whose birthday it was, they went upstairs to make a Twitter live video. Well, the girl gets his mom's gun. It's a Glock with a 100-round rotary clip on it.
Wow.
And she's sitting there fumbling it and bumbling it. Well, you know, they're trying to make this video, so they're goofing around trying to look hard or whatever they were doing. Just innocent kids. They didn't even know what they was doing.
Yeah.
So she points the gun to his head. Well, she ends up pulling the trigger and shot him in the head and killed him, and she falls to the ground. She's 12 years old. In a matter of that split second, she grabs the gun and shoots herself in the head. And it's all live. You can see the videos. I'm surprised I ought to send it in.
I saw a headline on this. I hadn't looked into it at all. And
man, it made my heart drop when my daughter showed me that. I'm like, oh my gosh. I said, you're 14. I said, look, that's just how simple that stupid stuff is.
Yep.
I said, and I asked my daughter, I said, what do you think caused them to act like that? I said, it's the glorification of gangster, rap, ghetto, thug life culture. That's everybody. That's their peers. That's their heroes. That's
these were blacks, huh?
Yeah, I didn't even have to tell you.
Yeah.
In the video, and you can just hear all. Once it happened, I don't even know how she was 12 and even thought to do that. Like there's no coming back. I just killed my cousin.
Yeah.
That she pulled the trigger. It was just wham, bam. And
did she kill herself on purpose after she did that to her cousin?
Yes. She picked the gun up. I saw a clear video of it this morning. The YouTube video is kind of blurry a little bit.
Yeah.
But, she just accidentally did that, and she knew she messed up. She just went ahead and grabbed the gun and shot herself in the head.
Yeah. Terrible.
It's just like, that is...
In your view, it was a total mistake? In your view, it was a total mistake when she shot her cousin?
Yeah. They were just posing for the video.
Yep.
On Twitter Live or whatever it was.
St. Louis, Missouri, huh? Are they allowed to have like 100-round drum? I'm for the Second Amendment. I'm for not having restrictions on our rights to carry very capable guns and ammo. 100-round rotary drum or whatever?
Yeah, 9mm.
Yeah.
And you're talking St. Louis, Missouri.
Yeah.
That's what this culture is. It's all about their culture. This culture, our culture, us, mine, and then, then you got the whole Will Smith thing, just topping on all of it.
Yeah, I know.
But I told my daughter, I said, see, they want to be like their heroes. The ghetto rap, gangster, thug mentality, they glorify that. They
should
see it from the parents.
Those are old enough girls that they should know how to handle a gun and how not to mess with it. What a mess.
She was 12. Her cousin was 14. He was a boy.
Her boy cousin.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was his birthday that day.
Terrible.
And they were all over there, and the mom of her wasn't even there.
Yeah.
When all that went down. But yeah, it's just, and that's what I was trying to explain to my daughter. I said, sometimes you're going through the phase, you're going to go through it just like I did. Listening to rap music, you want to be a little rebellious, you love that hardcore bass. I said, but do you even understand the words that they're saying? She was playing a song on her way to basketball practice the other day, and I was like, okay, the bass and the beat sounds good, but do you even understand what they're saying? It's
right.
Just nasty, vulgar, the most nastiest, degrading crap you could, at least like the old Tupac stuff and all that. It kind of had a rhythm. There was a little bit to it, the old rap.
Right.
It was like a story. This is just the today's rap. It's like who can say the most vile, degrading, disgusting, nastiest stuff.
Yeah.
And it's glorified. They glorify it. That's their culture, and that's what they're proud of. But they're going to blame this on something else besides, they're going to blame it on the gun, or they're going to blame it on something else. I don't know. But
yeah, you're right. They never get to the root. Where is the father involved? Did you see anything about the father?
I have no idea. But
I'm seeing mother, grandmother. Women. I don't see anything else. But I'm not making any assumptions, but I just wonder.
Well, if you watch the video to the entirety, the live is still on, and they're trying to open the door. Well, the bodies are laying right in front of the door.
Wow.
They can't bust open the door, but they could have. They could have just busted it open, but it's already done. And one of the dudes, one of the men, he opens it, looks in it, and then he just yells, "Mama, no!"
Yep.
So I yelled, "Mama, no!"
Yeah.
But these you can teach kids guns aren't toys.
Right.
They're a weapon to defend you, to save your life.
And you can know the basics. I learned the basics. You don't point it at anybody. You don't put your finger on the trigger. You know what you're doing with it. Anybody can, like I said, 12 is plenty old to know the basics, even without being allowed to handle the gun. Because I remember Jesse talked about getting his first rifle at age 15. And but at a much younger age, you can know, you should, especially if there's a gun in the house, the kid should know how to use it and how not to use it.
So, I mean,
in my
on
opinion,
the farm, totally. On the farm, there's always guns been there.
Right.
I was taught at 8 years old with a .22 rifle. I taught my daughters at 8 years old how to use the .22 rifle.
Yeah.
And they both take it seriously, and they both got pretty good.
Yep.
At it, and they know it's not a toy because they see the stuff laying around.
Yeah.
I don't have everything locked up. There's no need to be.
Right.
You gotta be able to grab it and use it when you need it, wherever it's at.
Right. Yeah.
And it just broke my heart when I saw that, and I'm just like, man, they glorify that culture, and that's what them kids' idols are.
It's true.
These youth. It doesn't matter if you're black or white. They're glorifying all that.
Yep.
And it's just sad. Sad state of affair. I didn't know if you guys seen it. I just wanted to get it off my chest today.
Thank you for the report.
To hear at work, and everybody, they're just like, ugh. Some of them don't even want to talk about it. They're like, man, but we understand the reality of it.
Right.
And my daughter's talked to me today about it. And I'm just, people, teach your kids how to use a gun in the right manner and time in their life.
Yeah.
While they're young. Be responsible about it so that when reality hits and need be, they know what to do. They'll know how to handle themselves. Girl, boy, got to take care of them. I mean, that's just how it's going to go.
Yeah.
To feel comfortable about it. I feel at least comfortable about it as a father.
Yeah. I appreciate it, man. Thank you for the tip. I had not looked into it. That's pretty that's horrifying. Crazy.
So the next time Tony calls, ask him his opinions on that. I want to know. I want to hear what he's got to say. Whose fault is it there?
Yeah. I know. He's such a joke. Thank you, man.
He'll be calling in tomorrow. I'll try to remind you in chat, maybe. Ask him.
Sounds good.
But yeah, I definitely want to hear this.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you, Blazing Hogs.
Hey, great show today. Good job with Hassan. It was a good show.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yep.
Take care.
Thanks, guys. Later.
Bye. Blazing Hogs from the sundown town of Dayton, Ohio. That's where Maze is from. And quick couple of super chats, guys. Your girlfriend gave a super chat with a tip on, which I posted in the chat, in the live chat for you guys. Will Smith slaps a reporter. I vaguely remember this. And it's a video from, what did YouTube do with the dates of when they published videos? For some reason, I don't see the date on this. Let's see. Yeah, I don't see what the heck. Normally it has the publishing date, but it doesn't have it here. But anyway, yeah, there's this weird guy who just hugs and like kisses him, and I guess he's supposedly a reporter. Maybe he's one of those European reporters, those weirdos, right? And he like hugs and kisses Will Smith, and I don't have the clip for you ready to show you, but he like gets away, he like pushes him away, and then he slaps him like that. Oh man. And is that a reporter? And he slaps him again. Anyway, I'm all laughing and you guys aren't even watching. You're just looking at me watching it, if you're even watching me. Anyway, thank you, your girlfriend, for the tip. I put that in the chat. John WX25 says, Tony is a waste of flesh. He makes Maze look sensible. I know. That's actually true. What a mess. Man. I was going to get to this first-time caller, Ricardo, from, I forget where, but he hung up. He wanted to talk about that thing. Let me just see what I have here. He's calling from Boston, Massachusetts. You know what? Let me mention, at least in the last 2 minutes here, play this clip 12. It's Sleepy Joe Biden pushing this dumb thing about lynching in the anti-lynching bill. It's so wrong. Here's Sleepy Joe pretending that, this is right to pass a hate crimes bill about your federal, making lynching a federal hate crime. So stupid. Here it is.
It was over 100 years ago in 1900. North Carolina Representative named George Henry White, the son of a slave, the only black lawmaker in Congress at the time, who first introduced legislation to make lynching a federal crime. Hundreds of similar bills have failed to pass. Over the years, several federal hate crime laws were enacted, including one I signed last year to combat COVID-19 hate crimes. But no federal law expressly prohibited lynching. None. Until today.
Oh, yeah. So this guy, the last recorded lynching in the United States reportedly happened, this is from the far-left female-run outlet, The Skim, in 1981. 40 years ago, 41 years ago. And that's reportedly. And there have been, but there have been at least 8 suspected cases of lynchings of black men and teens in Mississippi since 2000, according to police reports and court records. But people throw around that word willy-nilly. Civil rights advocate Reverend Al Sharpton described the 2020 supposed murder of Ahmaud Arbery, self-defense killing, a citizen's arrest gone wrong, right? In Georgia, Ahmaud Arbery, blah, 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 as a lynching in the 21st century. So it took lawmakers more than 200 tries, dozens of states across the country limiting critical race theory and other fake race-related classroom discussions. But this cowardly, corrupt, phony U.S. Senate unanimously said yay and passed this stupid bill. So wrong. And meanwhile, they're saying, this transgenders in women's sports, it's a bill, it's a solution looking for a problem. Talk about that. Black on white crime way outnumbers white on black crime, but they want to pretend, lynchings are happening to this day. So wrong, so stupid. Anyway, to the callers, I'm sorry I could not get to all of you. Anna in Missouri, Jeremiah in Louisiana, Louis Bootsy in Idaho, not Navajo, and Ricardo from Boston. I could not get to all of you. I appreciate it. Catch you hopefully tomorrow on the Hake Report. And make sure you catch the archive Sunday service throwback at 4 p.m. Pacific time today. And hopefully we'll see Jesse Lee tomorrow. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Hassan. And thank you, TJ, making it happen. Thanks, guys, and take care.
wanted so